Hi, Phyllis Jones, Chair of the North Andover Commission on Ability Assistance, and we're having a special episode of Ability Assistance today. We're joined by Joyce Bradshaw, our town clerk. She was on just 2 months ago now, and we finally got the cards in so we can talk a little bit more about the Automark Machine.
Well, we can do a live demonstration. This is our Automark Machine. It is always available for any election, whether at the polling location. We also have it available at Town Hall, should somebody want to be able to independently vote. The Automark Machine is nothing but a very expensive, big pencil. What it does is give you the ability to be able to mark your own ballot independently. Some of the features of the Automark, we have headphones, which if you use the headphones, it actually verbally will walk you through the entire process of what you have to do. Also, somebody that's used to using Braille, there's all kind of Braille devices here that will do everything that you need to do with the ballot itself. There's also Braille here that tells you to insert your ballot. Has different features on it. It can make the screen darker or larger so that if you have sight impairment or you just forgot your reading glasses at home, yeah, we've done that. It blows up the screen so that you can actually change the font size so it's very easy to read. Or it changes the background color if for some reason somebody sees things better in green or whatever color the background is. We always have this available. We are happy at the polling location to assist if you would like to use it. Anybody can use the machine. I myself always will vote on it for two reasons: just to be sure that it's working properly, and also it's a very good way to become familiar with it. So it could not be easier. If you come into the polling location, we have somebody that's a greeter. We'll tell you the first thing you have to do is go to the check-in table, provide your name and address, and they will give you a ballot. But instead of going to one of the voting booths, you actually will come over to the Automark. You can come to the registrar's table, and we are happy to walk you through it and make sure that you're comfortable and situated properly to use it. First thing that you do is, even though we have 9 ballots, this machine is programmed to read whichever one goes in. So this happens to be a 1 to 4 Democratic ballot. This is a primary. In the general election, we only have ballots separated by precinct, so we only have 3. But the machine is automatically set up to read any particular ballot. So it's a big advantage that way.
And it looks like it confirms receipt.
It confirms that you got it in there okay. It tells you what kind of ballot it is. And just as a note, when I actually go to market, in deference to any of the candidates on this, so no one thinks we're trying to influence, if there's more than one candidate listed, we're automatically going to do a write-in. But you can pick anybody that you want. Okay, and then it flashes, and if you have the headphones on, it would say next, or these are the Braille commands that are there. It lists the office, which is Senator in Congress. It has the 2 candidates. It's an exact replica of the ballot. So what I'm going to do is and it has a screen. So if you want to write in,
Let's choose Mickey Mouse. It's a CKEY.
Okay, cancel.
You can see the keyboard is quite large, so
it's quite
it is
large,
easy
and all you
to
have
see.
to do, and it actually, MIC,
We'll
just put Mickey.
Yeah, we'll just put Mickey. Going forward, we could just put
and then
MM.
It'll say,
we'll keep it informal.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that automatically records that, and then it takes you to the next office on the ballot. There's 2 people there, so we'll do write in. We'll just put
Just put MM for Mickey Mouse. Make life easy for everybody. Okay.
And you see that the choice you made is highlighted in
highlighted
yellow, so
in
you're
yellow,
sure of it.
and what it does is, this is another one, but it does list. It does list the candidate. Oh, ZOU, that's okay.
And then I see, it's kind of hard to see from my end, but there's a back button in case I want to re-vote in terms of, or change my vote.
It also gives you at the end a summary of everything that you've done. Okay, we have an actual candidate here for Attorney General. It says up here which one's the office that you're voting for. So write in.
Just type anything.
D-O. Okay, put that in.
Dog.
And then
That's a
it
vote.
walks you through the process. And Bob, these are incumbents with their one Seth Moulton,
Yep.
Representative of Congress. Okay, we'll put a right in.
So cat.
We voted for the dog once,
So
so,
now
we
you
got
have
to
to
vote
do the
for
cat.
We have to do cat. Could not be easier to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks very intuitive.
It's
very
it's very,
straightforward.
And you don't have to be technologically advanced to use
no,
it either.
no, you don't. And we're always there, just in case you need help or have questions. These are easy ones. There's
Only one person.
And if you choose not to vote for anybody at all, say on this one we don't want to vote for anybody, we're going to leave it blank. That's perfectly acceptable. We'll
move
just go to
ahead.
next. And it tells you undervote. You've not voted in that. It's fine as long as you're aware of the fact that you don't have to.
Right.
And it says continue to next contest. And this gives you a summary at the end, and it also will verbally tell you exactly who you have selected for each office.
Great.
So if you look and say, "Oh my goodness, I don't want to do this," if you press on that, it takes you back to how you voted, and if you still want that one, that's okay. So it gives you a summary of all the selections. Then it tells you the magic words to mark your ballot, and you just press that. That's all the machine does. This is not that you're actually voting for those people. The only thing it does is take your ballot and mark it as if you were using a pen or a pencil yourself. It's very well received by people who sometimes have difficulty holding a pencil. Works out quite well.
Yep.
Or also anybody that's visually impaired or
may have hearing.
Or hearing
or
impaired,
hearing,
right.
or yeah.
And we don't have it hooked up, but there is a stylus that goes with that. It's noisy.
And what it does, it pops it up back out to you, and all it has done is taken and marked the ovals as if you
great.
used a pencil. That's all it does. So what happens after you've marked your ballot, you take it to the checkout table, which is the normal process. You give them your name and address, and then it actually goes into the same voting machines that anybody that
Everybody
has
else
marked
uses.
it manually uses, so that it's counted by the machine itself. And could not be easier. We have them. We can show you one more time if
Yep.
you like.
Why don't we do the Republican
We'll
ballot?
do the Republican ballot. And as I said, the machine is smart enough to know.
Is that what all the, there's a lot of black, best way to put it is blocks around the ballots. Is that, I think it,
Yep.
yeah.
So
I think what it,
What these are is what they call timing marks. This is how the voting machine determines which one it is, and also can record how the vote is.
so that
We'll
has
try
nothing to
this
do with the
again.
Automark machine itself.
Right.
Right.
Okay, yeah, this one did. So now it's loading it
Okay,
in.
it's loaded
loading
it
it,
properly.
yep.
It will not load it unless everything is perfect. So this shows us that it has taken that ballot correctly. And it pulls up that ballot, so we'll do right in.
I can actually hear a little bit of it
Yeah.
talking back.
So it takes you through all the races.
And again, I know we discussed this on the earlier show. How many of these machines does the town have?
You're required to have one for every polling location. Where we have just one polling location, we have one on site, but we also have it down at Town Hall. Should someone need it for absentee voting, or in the
Great.
fall we have early voting.
Yep.
So it's set up if somebody wishes to vote the same way they would on
great.
election
That's
day.
great.
It's set up.
So there are options for people,
Yes.
especially if they're not able to
Yeah.
make the
Right.
polling center.
Correct. And we're always there to. There's always someone there to assist. Undervote. Okay, we're going to go to the next one.
And I think that this is really important for people to know about, because you know, somebody who can't see the ballot or can't.
Or sometimes, as you said, can't hold the pen
Yeah,
and
right.
wants to. Usually, somebody can just. Wait a minute, we'll pick the candidate, and it lights up after you've touched it. So you.
And for anybody who can't hear because it's just not on camera, I can actually hear what Joyce is doing on each screen through the headphones.
It tells you. It will tell you on the headphone you have voted for Richard Baker.
Which is also great for somebody, maybe they have a slight hearing, issue, or if they have a seeing issue, a sight problem that, they can at least hear it.
If this isn't even big enough, you can hear that's who you've chosen.
To confirm your
and it will
who
also
you
give you
for.
your choices so that you can
verify that that's what you wanted.
Exactly.
We're going to skip that one because you're able to skip them. Continue to the next one. It tells you haven't voted for anybody. Do you want to vote for somebody?
And that's one of the ones that there's nobody running for that particular office, so it's right in.
Which is not unusual.
Yeah. And as you said, we've got, 9 districts here?
We have 9 different ballots because we're separated by precinct. Precinct 1 to 4 have the same type of ballot. Precinct 5 has its own ballot, and Precinct 6 to 8 have their own ballots. So depending on where you live, you might see signs for one candidate, and when you get there on election day, they're not there. Strictly dependent on where you are. And we have someone that's always there to help you, give you what your precinct is and which table you have to go to, or if you come in to vote absentee, we verify that the information is correct. Gives you, again, a summary. It will highlight this and say no selection was made. So if you look and say, that's okay, I really wanted to do that. And then just hit mark ballot again. And what we do is we actually do a test the same way we do on the regular voting machine ballots, that they mark each one correctly. So we will take each one of the separate 9 ballots. We put it in here because there's a little memory card in there just to be certain that that everything is working properly for election day.
Yeah, I think I saw on either Facebook or through one of the town's Twitter sites that you were going to, did you have it already?
We already had the test deck. We're required by law to mark 50 ballots, each one of the 50 ballots, and you look at it and you just pull it out. It's all perfectly marked, and then you'll go to the checkout table again, put it into the machine as if you marked it with a pen. That's important because nobody's hand counting this, and when you go to check out, you can just put it face down so nobody sees how you vote.
Right.
Because the machine, the voting machine itself, will take it all 4 ways. So no matter how you put your ballot in, it accepts it and reads it. And that's what the test deck does that we do for the actual voting machines. We take them, we mark 50 of each. One takes a whole day to do all different 9 and do 50 of each for each party. And then we actually take them and we do them in a public location of taking the ballots that we have marked, and then we hand count to see what that count is of those 50 ballots. And we run them through just to be certain that
every ballot
works and that it's totaling them properly. So it's a very so it takes all day to do the test deck, and because we have new voting machines, we have image cast, but you always have the paper ballots to fall back on. Nothing else is approved in Massachusetts. So worst scenario, if something happens to the machine or somebody doubts that the machine has read them properly, it can always be put on a table and hand counted. And
that's
pleased. We're excited by it, and always happy to have anybody try and use them. Or if you're just curious and say, "Gee, I'd really like to try."
I might actually use it because first off, it looks prettier than when I use the pen or the pencil, but it just seems a little bit easier
It is easy
straightforward.
because it's right there. We have a chair right there at the table it's set up on, or if somebody's in a wheelchair, you can actually sit there and mark your ballot. And we're happy to assist in any way. Our registrar's table is usually right close to it. And if somebody has trouble walking to get back to the checkout, we're happy to take your ballot, put it in a secrecy sleeve, and take your name and check you out and put it into the machine itself. We have what we call secrecy sleeves that just go on the outside so that
A big manila envelope, basically.
Right.
it's basically a fold-over sheet that you just take, and it just protects your privacy a little bit.
Right.
Not that we would remember how anybody voted, but that's important.
But it's
too.
right. It's a
Or somebody
consideration,
comes
right?
to the polls and needs special assistance. There's always a police officer in the parking lot. So if you have an issue of getting into the building, or you need anything else at all, if you have any problem or situation, you tell the police officer. They're happy to come in, and I or one of the registrars will be happy to come out and assist you either with information or voting or whatever else you need. So don't hesitate to absolutely ask us, because we're happy to be there to be able to do that.
No, and I thank you for coming back to be able to show us this. I know we had hoped to do it when you were on 2 months ago or last month. Time flies when you're having fun.
It does, and with the programming and everything that has to be done, it's only done closer to the election.
Right, which makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Which makes
Well,
sense.
this is great.
Yeah,
And
if you'd like to come back and do a special segment when we get the general election
We will
ballots.
do that with general election information, which will be the November election. Also, just a note on the primary, there are no ballot questions on the primary ballot. So if you go looking, I think you see signs out, vote yes or vote no on a particular question.
That's not till November.
They will not appear till November.
Thank you for that information. That's
No,
really good for
that's-
people to know.
Exactly.
It's very good, and we will be, our office will be open the Friday before Labor Day, which is technically the last legal day before the election, which is Tuesday, September 4th, the day after Labor Day, till 5 p.m. if someone needs to absentee vote.
And that the Friday after.
Friday before Labor Day,
which is a
open till
week.
5.
Is that a week from Friday?
Yes.
Pretty much.
It's coming up very quick.
Actually, no, it's this coming Friday, isn't it?
This coming Friday
Yeah.
next week, but we normally
coming up
close at
fast.
noon.
Yes.
But we will be open on that Friday too, so that if you say, "Oh, I'm going to be out of town," or "I'm just not going to be able to make it to the polls," I still want to be able to vote where it's a holiday. You come into the office up till 5 p.m. on Friday, the 31st of August.
Well, we appreciate
Yes.
that, and that means there's no excuse for people not to vote.
Exactly.
We're making
Or
this
if someone
very
needs the
easy for
ballot
people.
mailed to them, there's still time to do that. Just call our office and say, "I'd like an absentee ballot." We mail
Great.
it out to you, and any family member, or you can bring it back yourself to Town Hall, or we have a box out in front of Town Hall. It can be dropped off, and we pick that up every day.
Yeah, and
Right.
I've used that in the past.
Yes, it works out very well,
Yeah.
because sometimes people will be doing other errands on a Saturday or a Sunday. Just put the ballot in, and as I said, we open it up the first business morning.
Right, and especially since this is on the heels of a holiday, major holiday,
Yes.
it could
First
be
day of
challenging
school,
for people.
and so
Exactly.
there could be issues of driving to the polls. It'll either be, not all the students are going back, but it can cause confusion. So
Exactly,
we're happy to make sure that you get the ability to be able to
Right.
vote.
So this makes it the process
Yes.
very,
As
very
smooth
easy
as
for
possible.
everyone. So, well, thank you.
Thank you very much, Joyce,
My
for coming
pleasure.
back.
We appreciate
Yes,
it.
we do
This has been
appreciate it.
very helpful.
Thank you for joining us for this special segment of Ability Assistance. Again, I'm Phyllis Jones,
And I'm Stacy Leibowitz.
and again, we're joined behind the camera with fellow commission member Jeff French, and Susan Martin of North Andover CAM, and Carly Jones of Greater Lawrence Technical Schools Graphics Communication Shop. It's a new one. Mommy's got to learn that
But very
one.
exciting.
Yes, exactly. So thank you very much. Please don't forget to vote. It's the day after Labor Day, and we hope to see you soon.